3 signs you are ignorant. Number 3. You don't embrace change. Changing equals learning, and learning equals changing. Ignorance is defined as a lack of knowledge, and what is the only way to gain knowledge? Well, it's through learning. So without change, you will, not could be, but will be ignorant. Let's think about real-life companies who have resisted change. Start with Blockbuster, which 14 years ago was a multi-million-dollar company. Times changed, and the introduction of a digital way to rent and stream movies began. Blockbuster wasn't ready or willing to change, so much so that they refused a buyout from Netflix for $50 million in 2000, despite the fact that they were already losing money. In the end, as you were probably aware of, Blockbuster is no more, and Netflix is at the top of the industry. Kodak is another company that resisted change. Kodak had invested billions of dollars in photography on mobile devices. They decided not to develop digital cameras because they thought it would negatively affect their film business. Because they waited, Canon took over the market with digital cameras, and that was the end of Kodak's dominance. When something doesn't adapt to change, it becomes irrelevant. So why do we not like change? Well, our bodies are built to resist change. Homeostasis is your body's equilibrium. The equilibrium is a system that gets to a steady state or balance that resists outside forces of change. This is your body's way of resisting change. Your brain also resists change. The basal ganglia is a part of your brain that controls habits and routines. As we all know, it's easier to stick with routine and habits than it is to change them. It is also much more comfortable to stay in your routine than it is to change it. So this part of your brain identifies habits and routines and wants to stick with them because they are comfortable and familiar. So in essence, we are built to resist change. This is a big issue when we look at the ways the world is changing. The world is working towards more equal rights for race, gender, sexual orientation, social class, and many other things. But with all these changes, there is resistance. But why? How can people not want the best for other people? How can we be so ignorant to dislike someone because of the color of their skin, their sexuality, or what they choose to do with their lives? Well, the answer to this is there's a lot of reasons. But could some of it be because the basal ganglia? If we are raised in a part of the world that is not diverse and very strict in the way you should think, then is it our habit and routine to dislike anyone different than what we were taught? We know this is true just by looking around the world. Usually the people that are most resistant to change are older people, which would make sense because the things they were taught were from a different time where ideology was much different. This ideology is then passed to their kids and so on till you get to today. Who we are can be traced back centuries and sometimes even to our early heritage. We are shaped by those who come before us, and because of the basal ganglia, the things that our parents teach us turn to habits and routines. But much more important, they are comfortable. Change is scary, and it's something that we are made to resist. So how do we embrace it? Well, it comes back to the brain. For us to make a conscious decision to change, we must use a different part of the brain called the neocortex. Unfortunately, the way you use your neocortex is to get out of the familiar and step outside your comfort zone. It is unfortunate because, as all of us know, it's not easy or fun to get outside our comfort zone. So in order to embrace change, we have to get outside what is familiar and comfortable, and do the work it takes to not become ignorant. As you have seen from the failed companies, change is going to happen. So we can either be a part of the change that happens, or we can decide to stay the same and become ignorant. Here are some final thoughts to take away from this series. Ignorance will choose to ignore all these facts we've presented and carry on with its lazy, divisive, and destructive ways. Intelligence will choose to put forth the effort necessary to overcome the need to be right, see past only what you want to see, and embrace the change necessary to seek out information different than what you know and be a part of the positive changes in the world. So what will you decide? Who will you be? Will you help the world move forward? Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button down there. And if you want more content like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button too. And if you want to see more videos, go ahead and click right over here. Peace.